Anfield, the sanctuary of footballing gods. Think again, look at the key figures. Dominic Szoboszlai, the midfield maestro, failed disastrously at right back, leaving fatal gaps. Ibrahima Konate fumbled with hesitant passes and indecisive defending. This is Liverpool, a team that dominated possession with 70%, fired countless desperate shots, yet allowed the opponent to score 3 easy goals. This was no lucky win for Forest. It was a statement that they felt comfortable facing the former Premier League champions. Liverpool 0-3 Nottingham Forest. Or should we call this the post-legacy crisis? If you thought the 0-3 defeat against Manchester City before the international break was the lowest point of humiliation, congratulations, Arne Slot has dug deeper and found a new bottom. Welcome to the 0-3 loss against Nottingham Forest, a team that entered the match from the relegation zone. When the final whistle blew, it wasn't just 3 points dropped, it was the shameful recurrence of history. The last time the Reds lost 2 consecutive Premier League matches by a 3-goal margin. That was in 1965. This highlights the severity of the problem, as Slot is not just facing poor form but is pushing the club into a situation that has taken 60 years to repeat. This defeat equals the club's heaviest home loss at Anfield in the Premier League era. Currently, Liverpool is sinking in the bottom half of the table, sitting at 11th place. This is no ordinary defeat, it is a numerical crisis-patient record, where every statistical data point is against us. We need a deep analysis of why Slot has turned Anfield, once the Red Fortress, into Sherwood Forest, where the Forest poachers easily bagged 3 points. Liverpool's diagnosis: numerical crisis and psychological collapse. The 0-3 defeat to Nottingham Forest at Anfield is the clearest evidence of Liverpool's deterioration. Losing heavily at home to an opponent currently sitting in the relegation zone is the most obvious sign of a total loss of control. This defeat is not just a bad result but is the heaviest win for Forest at Anfield in the club's history. This suggests that Liverpool's problems have gone beyond individual errors. It is a systemic weakness. Forest maximally exploited Liverpool's continuous poor form to secure a resounding victory. This implies that Slot's team has become a low-hanging fruit that opponents, even weaker ones, can meticulously study and easily exploit. Coach Arne Slot quickly claimed full responsibility for the result, admitting it was another big disappointment. According to Slot, the team had a decent start in the first half hour. However, after conceding the first goal from Murillo, Liverpool completely lost control of the game and could not maintain their initial performance. The psychological collapse was most evident in how the team reacted after Savona's second goal early in the second half. Slot called that moment damaging. The team's inability to lift their spirit and adapt after going behind is a serious issue. Slot tried to adjust a few things when the squad started panicking, but these changes were completely ineffective, and the team was helpless in the search for a consolation goal, leading to the third goal being conceded. This is the 6th loss in the last 7 Premier League games, a horrendous run for which Slot must take responsibility. The severity of the defensive crisis was highlighted by former Liverpool striker, John Aldridge. Aldridge called the club's goals conceded record, now 20 goals in the Premier League, absolutely minging. This assessment confirms that Liverpool's defensive problems, especially set-piece errors, are an unacceptable core issue. For a top-tier team to concede so many goals after only 12 games is a sign of a lack of discipline and a loose defensive structure. Aldridge warned that the problem has become serious. Liverpool's fatal weaknesses. Nottingham Forest's success was entirely based on tactical discipline. The plan by coach Sean Dyche and the team was described as exemplary. They achieved their key tactical objective, keeping a clean sheet for the first time in 20 Premier League matches. This victory is encapsulated in the sarcastic statement by Morgan Gibbs-White. The player revealed that even though Forest did not have much possession, they felt comfortable facing Liverpool. This is a tactical insult. It points out that Liverpool's attack is too predictable, lacking the unpredictability to break down a low block, while allowing Forest, a struggling team, to establish a solid defense and wait for mistakes. Dyche confidently remarked that the way his team managed the game grew stronger over time, proving that Liverpool had no answer to disciplined defensive tactics. The 3 daggers, analysis of the conceded goals. Each goal exacerbated Liverpool's systemic problems. Goal 1, Murillo, endemic set-piece flaw. Murillo opened the scoring from a corner kick. Conceding from set pieces has been a persistent weakness across multiple seasons. Despite VAR controversy when Murillo scored, involving an offside Forest player near Alisson Becker, experts emphasised that Liverpool cannot use VAR as an excuse for the result. This indicates that Slot has failed to remedy the severe shortcoming in coaching a static defensive structure, a problem opponents have been well prepared to exploit. Goal 2, Savona, post-half-time carelessness. Savona doubled the lead right after the break with a neat finish from about 10 yards, after being left unmarked. This goal is the clearest proof of a lack of concentration and tactical discipline immediately after Slot delivered instructions in the dressing room. It shows a complete breakdown in mental fortitude and on-field leadership. The second goal, as Slot admitted, was damaging, as it pushed Liverpool into a state of total panic. Goal 3, Gibbs-White, desperate chaos. Morgan Gibbs-White sealed the victory for Forest after Slot decided to chase a goal by throwing on more attackers. This change included substituting Alexander Isak after 68 minutes of anonymous play. The desperate pursuit of a goal led to the squad becoming exposed and falling into a state of chaos. Gibbs-White exploited this space thoroughly. Dyche commented that his team grew stronger as the game wore on, a painful judgment on Liverpool's fighting spirit. Player audit and Slot's failed experiments. Konate, the ball-playing defender who was hesitant. The performance of the defense is a major concern, particularly Ibrahima Konate. Konate had a worrying display, highlighted by inconsistent distribution and hesitant defending. In Slot's dominant possession system, the centre-back is the one who initiates the attack. Konate's hesitation in accurately passing the ball under high pressure slowed down Liverpool's entire attacking tempo. This allowed Forest to easily establish the defensive block. This hesitancy is a symptom of a disconnect between the defense and midfield, where Konate felt he lacked safe and effective passing options, exposing the lack of overall team cohesion. The Szoboszlai right-back tragedy. Slot's most criticised tactical decision was pushing attacking midfielder Dominik Szoboszlai to play at right-back. Although Szoboszlai looked more effective when drifting centrally, this role caused a severe imbalance. Slot's attempt to use a central midfielder in a position that could tuck inside was an effort to solve the control and creativity issue in midfield. However, this experiment was ineffective because Szoboszlai lacks wing-back defensive experience. The consequence was that Liverpool's midfield was exposed. This imbalance allowed Forest to easily penetrate and reach the final third. This is a sign that Slot is panicking, willing to break the team's fundamental structure in search of solutions, yet leading to more severe defensive instability. The 0-3 defeat in 2025 is not an entirely new event. It is a catastrophic recurrence of a problem inherent under Jurgen Klopp. In the 0-1 loss to Forest in 2022, Liverpool showed absolute dominance in possession, with 75% of the ball. They fired 16 shots, 7 of which were on target. However, the conversion rate was poor. The current 0-3 loss shows that the ineffectiveness against deep-lying defensive teams remains, but is now compounded by a defensive crisis. Although Liverpool still dominated possession, estimated at around 70%, the quality of the finishing was still low. The biggest difference is that while in 2022 they only lost 0-1, in 2025, they conceded 3 goals at Anfield. This confirms that Liverpool is facing a total degradation. They can't score goals easily, and they concede easily. Meaningless possession further boosts the opponent's confidence, allowing them to maintain their tactical comfort. The 0-3 defeat to Nottingham Forest at Anfield is not just an accident but a systemic event, reflecting a lack of tactical stability, defensive weakness, and a psychological collapse after going behind. Arne Slot is under the greatest pressure, especially as endemic set-piece issues persist, and his tactical experiments, such as placing Szoboszlai at right-back, cause imbalance. Liverpool's core problem is ineffectiveness. They dominate possession and create a large number of chances, but they cannot convert them. Conversely, the opponent only needs a few clear chances, especially from set pieces, to punish them. Morgan Gibbs-White confidently stating that Forest felt comfortable facing the Reds is the clearest proof that Liverpool has lost its aura and fear factor. With 6 defeats in the last 7 games, Liverpool is in a state of total crisis, repeating the worst records in the last 60 years of their history. A light-hearted philosophical take. In football, they often say, "You'll never walk alone." But after watching Liverpool lose 0-3 to Nottingham Forest, we realize another philosophy. Possession might be 75%, but if you lose 0-3 right at Anfield, then you are definitely walking alone on the road to relegation. Tell us, should Liverpool start believing in miracles, or start believing in Dyche?